Super Bowl Sunday is 2 days away, and I cannot wait for this matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll tell you right off the rip, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs because they are better situationally than the Philadelphia Eagles. People are going to talk about Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. They're going to talk about Spags, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, and how he dials it up and all these things. And then they're going to compare it to the Eagles, who were very different from the Kansas City Chiefs, right? The Chiefs are about Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce making plays in big spots, and Spags dialing it up with Chris Jones making quite the impact there in the middle of the defense. Compared to the Eagles, arguably the best roster in the NFL. Big, dominant offensive line. Saquon Barkley, voted the Offensive Player of the Year this year. Good quarterback play, but not great quarterback play. A great defensive line. Linebackers that have really emerged this year. Guys in the back end of the secondary, with the exception of Darius Slay and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, that are a little bit younger, but have kind of emerged over the course of the season. Just this loaded roster from the Eagles against a Chiefs roster that's really more star-based, if that makes sense. Like, there's not as much depth. The talent isn't as spread out, but Chris Jones is a stud. Patrick Mahomes is a stud. So on and so forth. That paired with great coaching. And the reason why the Chiefs are going to win this game is because it's going to be close. It is not an accident that the Kansas City Chiefs have won 17 straight one-possession games. That's absurd. Like that is an incredible streak on their part, and it's no accident. They are better situationally than every other team in the NFL. This is the one thing, or one of the multiple things, that the Chiefs and the Patriots dynasties have in common. When you hear Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick talk about those Patriot teams that won Super Bowls, they always talk about how great they were situationally. We have the exact same thing with the Chiefs. They are great situationally, and they practice it all the time, which is a luxury you have when you have the same group of core guys for as long as the Chiefs have. And I think the best example of this is what we saw in the Super Bowl last year. Game goes to overtime, 49ers and Chiefs. They flip the coin, and the Chiefs elect to receive the ball. They didn't know the rules. They didn't know that the overtime rules in the Super Bowl were a little bit different and that both teams would have an opportunity to possess the ball. Patrick Mahomes, after the game, talked about how their first meeting, that was the first thing that they discussed. They practiced it. Like, they practiced, overtime Super Bowl scenario before the season even started. Like, they are just situationally more prepared than everybody else. The 49ers, on the opposite side of it, didn't know that the rule was different until after they elected to receive the ball. Okay, this is what makes the Chiefs better than everyone else. Yes, they have Patrick Mahomes, a guy who's going to have a case at the end of his career to be the best, to be considered the best quarterback ever. And they have a head coach in Andy Reid who, at the end of his career, is going to have a case to be considered as the best head coach in NFL history. Yes, they have these amazing pieces, but ultimately, what separates them from everybody else is situationally, they are better. And in these close games where 3 or 4 plays decide the difference, how do you not pick the team that situationally is better than everybody else and has been for the last 7 years? The Chiefs are the clear and obvious choice because the Eagles, yes, the roster top to bottom, loaded. It's just an incredible roster. It's either the best or second best in the NFL, depending on if you prefer them over a healthy Detroit Lions team. But let me just ask you a pretty simple question. Who do you trust with 2 minutes left to go? Who do you trust more, Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes? I think the answer is Patrick Mahomes. Who do you trust with 2 minutes to go? It's 3rd and 6. The Eagles have the ball. Do you trust Jalen Hurts to pick up that first down? Or do you trust for Spags to dial it up perfectly on defense and get his team off the field? I'm going to take Spags because I just saw him do it against Buffalo, against Josh Allen, who's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Let's flip it. Who do you trust more? Do you trust Patrick Mahomes with 2 minutes to go and score more than you trust the Philadelphia Eagles to get a stop, I'm rolling with Patrick Mahomes, the guy who led the NFL in game-winning drives this year with 7, the guy who led the NFL this year in fourth-quarter comebacks with 5. They are situationally better than everybody else, and that is why they are going to win the Super Bowl. Simple as that. Give me the Chiefs to win and cover that 1.5 point spread. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, like, comment below who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'll be back with another video again here soon. Once again, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll talk to you then.